Shalom, Mr. Akakwa with the GMS Germany camp. And first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect, the 144,000 men pushing the truth in diligence and sincerity across the four winds. Okay? So, Mr. Akakwa back with another lesson. So let's get back into it. Let's get into it. Because the Lord is going to come and save the oppressed. Only the oppressed and only the elect of the oppressed are going to be saved. And you may say, how can you say such a thing or whatever? The Lord is not a respecter of persons. Okay? And many of you people, when you get told the truth, you rather just unlearn the truth. You would rather just believe the lie instead of hearkening unto the truth and facing the facts. So that's why the Lord is only going to save a remnant of His people. A remnant of my people shall be saved. Okay? So with that, let's get into it. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. The book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it talks about curses. Salakia. It talks about curses and who these curses fit. You will understand when you start to look around today in this current state, the people in the current state of today. Do these curses fit the so-called white man? Do these curses fit the so-called Indian, Pakistani, like Indian man, West Indian, which is the East Indian, Salakia, the Ishmaelites and the Arabs, the Elamites, the Ishmaelites or the Saudi Arabians? Does these curses fit them? When you read these curses in Deuteronomy from the 28th chapter, from the 15th verse on down, do those curses fit the Chinese man? Do those curses fit the Saudi Arabian, the Arabs? Do they fit the Japanese? Do they fit the so-called whites, the Germans, the Russians? Who do these curses fit? Who are the oppressed of the Bible? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind goeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Who is this talking about? The Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. The Negroes, let's just use the Negroes for the example. The Negroes grope at noonday. They are trying to figure out a way to get these so-called white people to stop kicking their ass. To figure out a way to get from under the oppression that they are in by talking about Black Lives Matter, marching, holding protests, seeing their people being killed and slaughtered and racially discriminated against. They don't understand what's going on. But when you read the scriptures, you'll see. And let's read it again. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. That's what happened. That is what's happening to our people. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee. And no man can save the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American out of the hands of these heathen nations, except for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That's why we are His people. He placed us in that condition. So who are the oppressed? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Let's read 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed always. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors. Now let's look up some of the so-called black inventions. The so-called black people. Because we have invented everything. We have invented every single thing. And we don't enjoy them. We don't enjoy the fruit of our labors. Salakia. Black inventions. Now, if you Google this, go to the images, they have a list of all of the inventions that so-called black people invented. Okay? So let's see. Paper says that paper says Africans. And it wasn't the Africans, it was the Israelites. Chess, the Israelites. Alphabet, the alphabet came from our holy language, Paleo-Hebrew. Israelites. Medicine, the Israelites. Civilization. We taught Europeans how to be civilized. The aeroplane propelling. The biscuit cutter. Folding bed. Coin changer. Rotary engine. Car coupler. Letterbox. The list goes on and on. Torpedo discharger. Stainless steel pads. Disposable syringe. Home security system. Corn planter. Cotton planter. Why would a white man invent a corn planter when he had slaves? Why would a white man invent a cotton planter when he had slaves? Ironing board, street sweeper, horse bridle, horseshoe, pacemaker, guided missile, lawnmower. Why would a white man have and create a lawnmower when he had slaves? Typewriter, train alarm, image converter for radiation detector, peanut butter, paints and stains, lotions and soaps, automatic fishing reel, ice cream mold, blood plasmas, horse riding saddle, shoe, piano player, arm for a record player, doorstop, doorknob, photo print wash. The list goes on and on. These are all the inventions of so-called black people. What does the scripture say? The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. These inventions that we have created have not gotten us any recognition. If anything, they'll do their best to hide them. They'll do their best to make sure nobody knows these inventions exist due to the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. All right? Because those inventions come from black people. The list goes on. The air conditioning unit, okay? The lawn sprinkler, the lock, the lantern, the lubricating cup, a mop, a motor, rolling pin, shampoo headrest, spark plug, straightening comb. Spark plug is what every vehicle needs to drive. A spark plug. Street sweeper, phone transmitters, thermostat control, traffic light. Every city has traffic lights. Every city on the face of this earth have traffic lights. It's harder from us. TV remote control, typewriter, VCR remote timer, You see? Ironing board, there's hairbrush, guitar, the guitar. So let's read what it says again. Deuteronomy 28:33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall the nations which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. You see? If this is not proof, let me keep going further. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And the scriptures tell you when you gain understanding in these scriptures, you're going to gain sorrow. But also you're going to gain anger, because you're going to see how you've been lied to your whole life. How you've been told bullshit ass lies and been fed false doctrine and pagan customs your whole damn life. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. The heart is your mind. When you love something, you tend to think about it all the time. It's always in your thoughts. Like when you love the Lord, He's in your thoughts. His commandments are in your thoughts. Okay, when you love a woman, she's always in your mind. You're thinking of ways to please her. When you love these scriptures, you're always thinking of how you're going to do lessons, how you're going to study. When you love something, it's always in your mind. So your mind is your heart. And when you look up the word heart in Hebrew, in the blue letter, it means lab. And lab translated into English means your mind. Okay? And a gift destroyeth the heart. And that's what Esau will do. Esau will give you a little gift, because a gift to him is nothing, because he has everything. And it'll be a little bitty gift, and it'll destroy the mind of a wise man, or the men of Israel, or the Israelites who call them, who are unknowing. Okay? And they will tend to forget all of the raping and robbing and murdering and the oppression that has been put on them just because of a couple of gifts, some cars. Why is it that celebrities have billions of dollars? So-called black celebrities have billions of dollars, but we can't do nothing for ourselves. All we can do is buy cars and land, watches. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Money Mayweather has so much money. Every time you see him, he got money laying everywhere. But you mean to tell me he can't go to a neighborhood and rebuild it, buy a neighborhood and rebuild it? Esau would do it. If Esau saw his land his people being oppressed and everything, the first thing he's gonna do is build up a suburb for his people to live better. How come we can't do it? Because Esau only gives us little gifts, little trinkets, which destroyeth our minds. The oppressed is the nation of Israel. Let's go to Proverbs, because this was me. This was me through and through. Proverbs 3. And 31. Envy thou not the oppressor. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Before I came into the truth, I chose all his ways. I was envious of the so-called white man, because he has everything. And in my mind, I was thinking, how can my king get where he got? How is it that no matter what I do, I'm still under Esau? They still over us. No matter how big we get, what we create, how better we are at anything, they're still over us. They're still oppressing us. How is this possible? Because the Lord put us in oppression under these heathen nations. The oppressed is the nation of Israel. Jeremiah 50. and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go. To this day. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. Okay, when you look up that word, it means, the host means armies. The children of Israel, the 10 tribes, or the 11, and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. You know why they hold us fast? Because we created everything for them. We are the salt of the earth. Everything that they have is because of us. You can say that do the research yourself. You can say what you want to say. But the proof is in the pudding, I guess, so to speak. When you do research and you do diligent research, you'll see that Esau has taken everything from us and benefited off of it. The oppressed are the children of Israel and the children of Judah, the Israelites. Let's read 34. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquieted the inhabitants of Babylon. Who are the inhabitants of Babylon? Because there's nothing new under the sun. And time is just repeating itself. So things that were happening back then are happening right now. And the Lord required that which is just the past. So everything that has been going on before is right here now, just in different modern times with different technologies. Okay? Babylon means confusion. We live in the land of confusion. We live in the land where wicked is good and good is wicked. Talking about the Lord will get you hated, spit on, money thrown at you. Saying you're poor, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a fool. Talking about the Lord, people would hate you for it because they don't want to know the truth, because we live in Babylon, modern day Babylon all over again. But it says their Redeemer is strong, and he will do what? He shall thoroughly plead their cause. How does the Lord plead his cause? He pleads with the sword. He's gonna, that's just another thing. I just want to finish this right quick before I go somewhere else. Let's go to Job. We'll come back to that, plead the cause. Job 20 and 19. Job chapter 20 and verse 19. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Who has done this? Who has taken a house that he has not built it? Esau and these other heathen nations. Okay? This precept is talking about how these heathen nations have taken things that don't belong to them. Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor. And who are poor? Who are spiritually poor, when in actuality we are spiritually rich. When you compare the Israelites' spirituality and the belief in the Most High, it's way more greater than what Esau has from the Israelites. The Israelites are spiritually rich. So this is talking about poor. They're poor physically. They don't have anything. They have been oppressed. So, who has forsaken the poor? Who has violently taken away an house which he buildeth not? Esau and these heathen nations. The so-called white man has done these things. But this is just showing you that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are oppressed. Let's go to 26 and 13. This is Job chapter 26 and verse 13. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hand hath formed the crooked serpent. So who is the crooked serpent? Who is the crooked serpent? The crooked serpent is Esau, and that's his heritage. That is Esau's heritage. He's that crooked serpent. You know, so the Lord created righteousness and he created evil. And Esau is that crooked serpent, man. He is. He can't get right. No matter what you tell him, what you show him, even on the money, they say, "In God we trust." And they don't trust in the Lord, because they'll swear on the Bible and then put that Bible away and then start speaking Latin laws. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path. Who is this? Who are his people? The children are their oppressors, and the women rule over them. Who are this? Who are these people? The Israelites. The Israelites have their women out of order. The Israelites have their children out of order. Okay? Esau likes to be ruled by a woman. He likes to have a woman in a power seat and worships the Queen of Heaven. All right? Esau worships the Queen of Heaven. But we don't worship the Queen of Heaven. Our spirits naturally despise that a woman is over us. There are some of us, some I guess you could say simps, who do like a woman over them. But the point of this matter is they have oppressors also. I mean, the children and the woman and the children of the Israelite people are oppressors also. They oppress their men. Because as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. So, who are the oppressed? Who are the oppressed? Is it so-called white men? Is it the so-called Negroes? Is it so-called Spanish Latinos? Okay, the Latinos. Let's go to Micah. It's the last precept. Micah 2 and 2. Select it. Micah 2 and 2. Let's start at 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. Verse 2, they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So who has done this? Who has oppressed a man and his heritage? Who has taken away fields by violence and houses and took them away? Who has done this? And who has it been done to? The Israelites. The Israelites have gone through this. And that first verse, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. That's the Edomites. Because it is in the power of their hand. They have the power to do so. And they covet fields and take them, Esau, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and even his house. Even and his house. Even a man and his heritage. So they took the heritage from these people and oppressed it by laying layers and layers and layers of bullshit on it. Being called all of these different bywords and proverbs to keep you confused, to keep you lost, to keep you oppressed. So I ask you again, who are the oppressed of the Bible? Who are the oppressed of today, in today's society? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Do your research. Study to show thyself approved. And always believe and push for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. With that, I want to say Shalom.